he frequently passed out. Ultimately, they forced him by means of assault to place a phone call to a criminal associate. The associate brought $30,000 to an agreed location. Hunter and a co-conspirator retrieved the money and then they released them. Gordon would testify that approximately 4 drive-by shootings were committed by Hunter and Gordon and a co-conspirator in order to intimidate the victim and a neighbor of the victim who was a potential witness in the kidnapping case. But there was somebody arrested for that crime back in 2015, later getting 5 years of probation after cooperating. He wasn't mentioned in this indictment or his name. Would that person go by? Cambrell Smart, aka Syko Bob. But in the indictment with Eric and the on-site crew, it seemed like Syko Bob was a part of that crew but didn't get indicted because of his statements. Now this timestamp from the court was September 22nd, 2015. And before we count and describe the statements from each count according to Syko Bob given the detective, I think you gotta understand, for him to get that plea and not be an indictment, there's no such thing as giving a plea without giving a confession statement about everything that happened. They don't give it to you just because you was the first one arrested, which explains why his name wasn't mentioned and was used as a key word like most witnesses do in indictments. Now when Eric and Gordon had confessed to that robbery of that man for $30,000 holding him for ransom, it seemed that Syko Bob was the passenger for that same incident. Now the victim wasn't named in the indictment, but according to Syko Bob arrest record, aka the co-conspirator, the victim was Toby's Barfield, which was the same details that Eric had to admit to. Count 1, robbed with a firearm, who was Toby's, the big-time drug dealer, to deprive the victim of his property by inflicting fear and physical force. Count 2, they battered Toby with a motor vehicle, aka hit him. It caused damages to his arms, legs, and buttocks. Campbell Smart, aka Syko Bob, he later battered Toby with his firearm, causing additional damage to the victim's forehead. The first count was robbery with a firearm,